Terrell Thomas, TheseUrbanTimes, sitting down with a gentleman who I've known for some years. I've been watching him grow in numerous facets of business. We're going to discuss them all today. Originally from up north, up in the Boston area, doing this thing in that notion. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to sit down with you, Jay, the one and only Mr. Jamil Lorenzo. How you feeling today?
I'm doing good, brother. Nice to talk to you. Nice to see you again, man. You know, I've been watching you too, man, for years now. So, you know, I idolize you a lot. So it's good to be back on with you.
That's love, dog. It's definitely love. I got a lot of love and respect for what you're doing, not only for yourself, but how you're helping a lot of people grow. I want to talk about your journey in the music, because I've also had the opportunity to find out about a lot of acts and a few talented acts via you.
Right.
In your role as far as being a manager and helping some cats get their careers off of the ground. Talk to me about when you got involved as far as music management.
I got into it about, wow, it's been like 8 years, 8 years ago. I got into it with my boy, my brother. I hate calling him my artist, but he's like my big brother to me, Jay Nice. He already had a great resume in Massachusetts. You know, we kind of met. We knew of each other for some time, but I never knew we did music. So we hung out one day, and we're actually in the car, and my other friend was actually playing his music. I had no idea we were playing his music. I'm like, yo, who is this, man? This is dope. And ended up being Jay Nice. And he kind of already knew kind of what I was doing, and you know, business kind of runs in my family. You know, it's something I idolize with my mother, my father, you know, my family members too as well. So he saw that in me. I kind of got put in a really good situation, which is kind of, you know, benefited me, you know, from my journey and on. You know, I kind of always been put in a good situation because, you know, my work ethic and, you know, my personality and being able to, you know how to talk to people and be able to market and network with different type of people. So that really got me into it. Jay really is the one that introduced me into this whole music business thing. I've always been a fan of music, you know, and then also, you know, when you learn the music side of things, you also got to learn the business, and you got to learn as being an entrepreneur and, you know, being able to, you know, expand yourself. Because even when you're being an artist, you don't want to just do music for the rest of your life, because, you know, those days can be cut short. So you have to be able to be versatile, not even just in your music, but in as a brand and, you know, as a person. So, you know, that's what I got into. I've got to meet great people along the way. Chris Brown, you know, I was on the tour for a little bit, just because knowing Jay, you know, and being friends with him for so many years, and, you know, he's family to me. So he really introduced me to everything. And, you know, I kind of just got into, you know, A&R, and, you know, as we spoke, you know, a couple of years ago about it. Now, you know, I kind of just transformed myself and just learning the business, learning every side of everything. And that kind of, you know, led me to, you know, managing and being part of management teams for great artists too as well. So, you know, it's been a blessing.
So talk to me about what's the music scene like in Boston? What's you know, what was it like jumping into the music scene in Boston? Of course, you're a Black man in Boston. We've seen a lot of greats come out of the Boston area, of course. So we know that talent is in that area. But what was it like getting off the ground in Boston? And what's the hip hop / music scene like in the Boston area?
There's so much talent out here, man. You know, Berkeley College is out here. So that's one of the biggest, you know, music schools in you know, in the United States of America. So the talent here is crazy. You know, excuse me, being introduced, you know, a lot of podcasts in Boston. You know, that's kind of how I got, you know, to have my ear of who's, you know, popping out in Massachusetts too. You know, so, you know, I've been a fan of Last Days, for instance. You know, Junior Mass. You know, so many artists. King 98. He's a young bull from out here too as well. I mean, there's so much talent out here in Boston, man. And, you know, I think, you know, platforms like yourselves, you know, you want to stay close to those type of podcasters and type of platforms too as well, because you're able to learn and see other artists that you may not even heard of from your own state, you know, so, or even outside the state. So, you know, the music scene out here is great. You know, I think people sleep on us a lot. You know, but, you know, you have Benzino, you know, from the history, you know, Jordan Lucas now, you know, just name a few Millies, you know, just name a few people out here, you know, so there's kind of a lot of people helping put that stamp in Massachusetts too as well, you know, so, you know, it's the scene out here is people starting to recognize a lot more too. And I think Boston is realizing, hey, we have so much talent out here. You know, now we've got to be able to get it out more for the world, for the rest of the world to see, because, you know, people think of Boston, they think of, you know, sports. You know, they don't think about necessarily the music first. And that's kind of what we're trying to change. And, you know, I felt like, you know, when I got, when I learned the business, I learned how to market it and network and everything else. I felt, I'm helping other states out for other artists. Now let's bring it back home and really be part of the core of talent out here to help branch that out. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of the growth of Massachusetts and, Boston music in general. So the talent out here is crazy though. I think people are starting to realize it now and see it now. And it's great to be a part of it.
Well said. Well said. Can you explain to our audience why it's so important to hire consultants to handle your brand management and marketing?
Exactly. It's really important because, as not even being an artist, but entrepreneur, you want to have, you want to be able to focus on your creativity, perfecting what you're doing. So you don't always have time to, market yourself on Instagram, market yourself on social media platforms and, getting on PR work, doing articles, doing visuals. You don't always have time to set up interviews with people like yourself. It's always better to have someone to handle that stuff for you and having a plan, an organized plan for yourself, because once you have it that way, everything kind of falls in line. You can worry about what you need to do, and that's the most important part about it. And plus, when you're presenting yourself to somebody or, to a call line or to another podcast or another platform, any of those natures, it always looks more professional. People take you more seriously when you have someone who represents you talking for you. And sometimes you run into people who just don't know how to talk to people. And, they might be moody or, you might say one little thing to them, they snap, so you have that somebody who can really just, keep it focused, keep it in line and keep it professional as possible. Because, sometimes not everybody is, has that talent to just, talk business, so, having someone to represent you and having everything organized for you and having a set plan for you, it always just makes your life easier. And I enjoy that part, you know what I mean? And that's the most important part. I think people don't realize that. When I got into the business, I realized myself, I said, damn, I'm a manager, but I'm like, damn, I have to worry about this, that, this, and then worry about myself too as well. So, back then I wish I said, damn, I wish I knew like a consultant who could really help me organize everything. So I had to learn that on my own. And then, at the end of the day, I enjoyed, I like the pressure of that anyway. So for me personally, it doesn't bother me, but for people who are out there, artists, entrepreneurs, a lot of them are doing it by themselves. And, they might have advice with their friends or, peers or other people they look up to, but they don't have someone to go to somebody directly, you know what I mean? So, that's the most important part about it. And then just makes you look more professional, you know what I mean? It makes you look more, like you're on your boss stuff right there, you know what I mean? So, it just makes you look good and it's a good investment if you find the right person, which is me. So, so
I like that.
you know what I mean? I had to throw that in there real quick, but it's always good to have that. I value it a lot. As years go by, I value how important it is to have that, because at the end of the day, you only have 24 hours in a day, and you can't always get everything done in a day, because life gets in the way, other things get in the way where, you have to alter your direction in life to get other things done, when you can just have someone who is literally, you're paying someone to take care of all the stuff for you. So you can just go in, hop in, do what you got to do, and get out and do what you got to do with everything else. So that's the most important part about hiring a consultant.
Now, you're also a businessman. We've been hearing the term entrepreneur a lot during our conversation. Talk to me about why it was important for you to start your own business, and how has that been so far? Now that you've planted those seeds, how has it been?
Right, it's been great. I think I've built so much relationships over the years. I've been spoken to already in a high way already with people. That people are able to respect me. But I think once you have a business under you, people tend to talk to you a little bit differently. You know what I mean? They value you a little bit more. And being an entrepreneur, I always say you have to be versatile no matter what you do. I don't just do music. I manage models, podcasters, clothing lines. I'm working on some restaurants, stuff like that. I'm working with a lawyer right now. We're actually branding him too as well. So, I also part of a team, a credit repair team too as well. So he's actually one of my good friends. He started his business, and he did let me take over the marketing and networking of it. And also I got to learn better of credit repair. And, that too is valuing, helping people understand, hey, you don't always have to use your own money to invest into yourself. if you take care of your credit, you know, you build an LLC and, you know, you build your credit off your business, you get a line of credit for your business. And, you know, if you're a responsible person, you know, you get that line of credit and you can use that money to, you know, put into what your dream is and what you want to do. It's not always, you always have to use, you know, your work money or, you know, everything else. You know, you can always utilize your credit in order to make these certain moves. Because, you know, in order to be an entrepreneur, in order to be an artist or anything you want to do as far as branding yourself and doing your own thing, you have to invest into it. So I think, you know, tagging into, you know, credit repair, doing Forex trading, you know, stuff like that, you know, having other platforms of streams of income so you can, you know, fund your dream. You know, that's the most important thing. I stress to people a lot. You know, I stress to people all the time. I say, hey, you know, if you want to do one thing, you got to be able to, you know, do multiple things too as well at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's been great though. You know, I love it. You know, it was a little slow start because of the coronavirus and everything like that. But, you know, I think having my name already out there already made it a lot easier compared to someone who's just kind of just jumping into it and starting from the ground up. I already feel like I was already in the middle range already. So now that I'm have that business under me now it's only going to get higher now. So, you know, the respect level's only gotten bigger. And, you know, people start to recognize more of what I got going on too as well when you have a business under yourself. You know, I'm sure you know that as well. You know, people, you know, look at you differently. They talk to you a little bit differently. And then before you know it, you get into, you know, certain places, you know, certain, you know, events and stuff like that, just because, you know, now you have a brand under yourself now. And people saying, okay, they're watching you grow and, you know, over the years and seeing you, you know, elevate rather than going down, you're going up. And I think, you know, for me, I think having a business was just like another stepping stone for myself. I said, you know, why work for somebody else when I can do it myself? You know what I mean? So, and I'm already good at what I'm doing. So why not start something of my own and you know, be in a situation where I can put other people on and work with me and not even just work. I'll never say work under me, but work with me to get where you want to be. And it's only going to make us better. You know what I mean? So, you know, I always say, you know, value the people around you. You know, you always want to make everybody better while you're elevating yourself too. You want to bring your people with you too as well. So, I mean, the business has been phenomenal so far.
Well said. Well said. Before I let you go, man, I also want to ask, what advice would you give to not only entrepreneurs, people looking to get into the music realm? I think what you just said about credit and investment was phenomenal. I think that was a great advice to give to business people and people looking to get into the realm of entertainment. But what additional advice would you give to folks in our realm looking to really break into the music business or just into business in general?
I'd never give up. You know, Rome wasn't built overnight. You know, the grind don't stop. You know, it's easy to give up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if it was easy, everybody and their mom would be doing it, right? So, you know, there's gonna be those long nights. You know, there's times, you know, I work at a bank. You know, I play a very high part of the bank, and you know, I go to work and I come home, I do this. You know, or you know, if I have a day off, but I'm constantly doing this all day. Even at work, you know, I have time to, you know, step away from work and, you know, kind of just focus on my business too as well. You know, I'm blessed to have, you know, a good you know, support system even at work too, you know, which is very rare, you know. So, you know, you never want to give up on this shit, man. You know, it's the best part about this whole thing is the journey. Because once you reach your goal, you're like, okay, what's next? You know, now you're trying to figure out what the fuck I want to do now. You know, you wanna enjoy this journey while you have it, you know, and you know, invest into yourself, you know, mirror and you know, find someone who, you know, you look up to and you can learn from, who's willing to, you know, give their advice too as well. You know, I tell people all the time, I say, hey, you have a question, I'm an open book, you know, because, you know, for me, I had to learn a lot of it on my own. You know, a lot of it I got blessed with to learn from other people, but a lot of it, you know, me being stubborn, I want to learn on my own too, because I want to be able to sit there years later and be like, you know what, I want to make it easy for people who want to start what I'm doing or you know, whatever they want to do. I want to be that person they go to about it. So, you know, just the grind doesn't stop, man. You got to put in the work in. You know, this shit isn't handed to you. Some people get lucky. I was lucky a lot of the times too, but I had to earn that in order to get something handed out to me, you know, but I also had to work for it to show I'm worthy enough to get something handed to me in a good situation too as well. So, you know, never give up, man. That's the most important about it. And hire a consultant, you know, hire me. Shit. You know, so I'll help you do all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I really, really stress to people, you know, entrepreneurs, you know, artists, anything of that nature. Just never give up, you know, and take this shit seriously. Because once you start, you know, you can't stop, because everybody's gonna remember the time that you stopped. doing what you were doing, so the pressure's on you once you put it out there to the world that what you got going on. So, you gotta just keep pushing, man. And just because the coronavirus happened, man, a lot of entrepreneurs came out of this situation. Right. A lot of people became entrepreneurs because of the situation, because they had to learn, they had to learn something new, in order to feed their family or, pay their bills, whatever the case may be. So, pretend that you're in that situation all the time. Maybe not specifically the coronavirus, but, pretend that you're in your back's against the wall all the time, because the best, usually the strongest people come out alive on that situation. For me personally, I think when my back's against the wall, that's when I always laugh and always joke about this. I come out to be Kobe in the fourth quarter, so, when your back's against the wall, I tend to, work 10 times harder than I already do. So, that's why I trust everybody, just to grind, don't stop, and keep grinding, keep working, and keep learning, because this shit never stops. This is a 24-hour thing. It's going to have a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of headaches, tired. Some nights you can't go out, can't hang with your girl, can't hang with your boys, because at the end of the day, you want to reach your goal in order to be able to travel and do whatever the hell you want to do in life, and having your own business, having your own, own brand of work rather than working for somebody else. So, that's what I would stress to everybody right now, honestly.
Man, if people are looking to hire you, or if they want to, inquire and learn more about what they got going on, please let our audience know how they can follow you via social media.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at just the letter J, Renzo34, or you can find me on Renzo Management, LLC, on Instagram too as well. If you're close to me, you can text me, but, I like to keep it through business, I'm working on my website too right now, which is almost done. Just having different revenues or ways of contacting me, so, keeps it organized for myself too as well. And, if you're looking for PR work, branding, marketing, social media, articles, visuals, getting on platforms like yourself to interview and talk about what you got going on. I think I've been blessed to even, have an opportunity to meet you. When I met you in Atlanta, man, the fact that you were able, I remember telling you, I was like, yo, I'm sorry if I asked a lot of questions, man, but I'm just curious, because I just watched you grow. For me, from afar, I watched you, far as long as I've been following you for years. So I'm like, I gotta pick his brain. And the fact that you were open to that and, willing to, talk to me about everything, man, that was a blessing for me too as well. So, which is another way, for me to get other people onto your platform, you know what I mean? Because the relationship that we built. So, so it's, I bless all that type of stuff. So, find me on those things, man, and, we get the working. The one thing about me is I'm reasonable too. I customize packages based on your situation, what you look to accomplish, and also your budget too as well. So I think that's what separates me a lot too from everybody else. And I strategize everything for you. I make everything pretty much pre-filled for you already. So based on our conversation that we have, with my clients, we have a conversation, or we meet up for lunch if you're in town, or sometimes I want to travel to you, we can talk. And based on our situation, based on our talk, I get everything filled out for you, and then we execute it. So if that's what you're looking for, get at me, man.
Much love, Jay. It's always a pleasure to sit and chat with you, man.
Yeah,
we'll
you too, man.
Up with you soon, seeing what you got going on, finding out about some new artists that you're working with. Stay safe out here. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man. You too, bro. I see you out there, man. You're killing the game out there, bro. I see you, dog.
Appreciate that, player. Appreciate that.